Hi everyone and welcome to episode 129 of the Talk is Cheap show. We've got a great show lined up for you today, but before we do that, let's get into our introductions. First and foremost, it is my honor and pleasure to be able to introduce my esteemed guests. First up, to my immediate left, co-host, analyst, social media icon, former professional footballer, Mr. Curtis Shaw, of Curtis Shaw TV in the house. What are you saying, bro?
Sounding bro.
And also it is my honor and pleasure to also introduce to my far left here, a guy, it's his first time on the Talk is Cheap show, but I'm very much looking forward to hear what he has to say today. Former professional footballer, now in an established press member. No doubt you'll tell us about it.
Yep.
Fan of AFTV in the house.
No, appreciate it, Loz. Thanks for having me on, mate. Appreciate it. Good. Finally, we're here, so yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
I've been on Curtis's channel a few times with you in the past, and you've always had some very forthright things to say, and it's only right that we have you on the show, man. I'm looking forward to hearing what you've got to say. But before we do that, tell the people a little bit about yourself, bro, your background in football and stuff.
Former pro for probably, 12, 13 years, mainly League One, League Two. And then obviously...
What clubs do you play for?
So Peterborough United was where I started. And then Lincoln, Macclesfield, Oxford, teams like that. So yeah, ran about just under 400 league appearances. So a good number. And then now, obviously I do the, co-commentating for BBC Radio Cambridge, cover Peterborough United games. And then obviously YouTube channels and get on Curtis's show and things like that. So yeah, in the mix.
So as you can see, ladies and gents, is a man that knows his stuff. So this is going to be good. Looking forward to it. Right, okay, so people who watch the show regularly will know we normally start off with our news and notes. So our news and notes today, you've probably seen behind us here, the Claude Cup. We were talking about it last week. A cup in memory of the legend Claude, who appeared on AFTV for so many times. The competition took place last week and AFTV were the winners. And the man to my left here actually scored the winning goal in the final. Curtis. Curtis, my man. Great day, yeah?
Yeah,
the weather was good turnout, some great games, well-contested games, and of course, you scored the goal in the final against the Wall FC. The Wall FC, who also featured a certain Jordan Ibe. Tell us.
And Cecil.
And Cecil, yeah. Shout out to Cecil. It was a great day, man.
No.
And it was ironic and fitting that you should turn up, play for us, and get the winning goal. So tell the people a little bit about the day. As far as
it was a great day, to be fair. I think it was bigger than football, obviously, because it was aimed at Claude, and we all knew. It was a special day. I think the sun being out and everything, it just felt like, his presence was there a little bit. Yeah. And I felt like we needed to win it, I felt like if we didn't win it, it's not right. Obviously, Jordan Ibe and Cecil playing for the Wall. Interesting, Jordan Ibe missed a penalty.
He did, yeah.
But obviously, you could see at certain times, he's played levels. And then obviously we beat him in the final. Scully had me on the bench for the final, which I wasn't.
I think it's age.
I'm getting on a little bit. It was my birthday Friday. I needed to chill. I said, listen, 20 minutes, that's about it.
That's all you need.
That's all you need.
That's all you need.
Happy to score the winner. Missed another. Well, I didn't miss a chance. I think I fell over.
I remember that.
I hope they cut that out, the highlights, to be fair.
I think you were celebrating before you actually hit it.
I felt like I was running up a hill. You know what I mean? It gets a bit more steep as you get older. But no, it was a great day, and obviously his daughter was there, and that, hopefully raised a lot of money for the charity and stuff. So
just want to say shout out to the other teams, Hackney Wick, SC Dons and the Wall. We spoke about them. Very good day. As we said, the weather was good, the turnout was good. They raised a lot of money. The games were competitive. The perfect storm. So thanks to everybody. Showed out on the day. Thanks to everybody who took part. Hopefully we can do it again next year. It was a great occasion. And, like you said, Curtis, we shouldn't go, without, paying tribute to Claude. He was, not only was he an AFTV regular in terms of contributions on the channel, he used to help coach the team. So like Curtis said, it was ironic and fitting that AFTV should get the win. A shout out also to Jalen, who was the player of the tournament. He impressed a lot of people there. Great day. Okay, moving on then. I just wanted to mention something in passing. We spoke about it briefly before we came on air. And this morning, got up, turn my phone on as you do, scrolling through it, and I see some comments from a certain Gabriel Bonahor, and he was none too complimentary about Arsenal defender Ben White, which kind of took me aback. And I thought it was worth mentioning on the show today. So basically Gabriel Bonahor is not a big fan, it would appear, of Ben White. He called him absolutely dreadful and said he was a big waste of money and that Arsenal should be starting Saliba next season. Start with Curtis. What was your thoughts on that?
I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of Ben White, but I think absolutely dreadful is an exaggeration. I think that's disrespectful, in fact, to go on a radio and say that about a player. He had a half decent season. I've said many times I think 50 million was too much for him. And I can understand people saying that Saliba maybe will come in and replace him, but I think he's gone too far. I don't think you should say things like that on radio, but I get his point, but I think he's been disrespectful the way he's said it.
Yeah, kind of what I was thinking. Fran, now listen, Fran, I don't want to throw you under the bus, but let's keep it 100. So I've appeared on a few shows with Fran, Curtis's watch-alongs. And previously, I think it's fair to say that, Fran, you've not been Ben White's biggest fan. So, and I remember when I told you that this morning, what Bonahor said, you had that kind of wry smile on your face. I don't think you're going to go there. Maybe not going to go that far, but your opinions on Ben White?
I agree with what Kurt said. I think, listen, me and Kurt have spoken, we spoke. I'm not the biggest fan. I do think it was way too much money for a third choice centre off, but I could see why Arteta went for him because of the way that he wants to play. But I've always, jokingly said, we paid 50 million for a defender who can't defend. I've been consistent with that. But I think, what Gabby said is he's a little bit too harsh, gone a little bit too far, especially on the platform that he's on and the amount of people that are going to listen to that. And Ben White's going to listen to that. He's going to know that's going to happen because it's going to be in the press. So yes, you can have you say, not everybody's going to rate players, but to say that is, he's a disgrace, and you wouldn't say that about a League Two centre off. So, I think he's been a little bit disrespectful, to be honest.
Come across a bit harsh. Sounded like a bit of clout chasing, to be honest. But I'm interested to.
It could be Saliba's agent.
Hear you say that he can't defend. Break it down a little bit. Why do you feel so strongly about it?
I just think it's his physical side. Now I know the modern day's changed. It is, people always talk about modern day centre backs don't have to defend as much because they don't have centre forwards backing in, and the game's changed. I get that, but he's always diving in, which is never a good sign for a centre half. If you look at the good centre halves, they never have to dive in because their positioning and the reading of the game is so good, and he just gets bullied. I think it's just a physical thing at times. He just gets bullied. And it's always a concern for me. Very different modern day football, I understand that. But, it's easy on the eye. He's got nice tats, his eyebrows are all threaded, things like that. It looks kind of nice on the eye.
But he's not centre half to me.
Yeah, you're not a centre half. It's a bit different.
So I get all that and why people like him. And don't get me wrong, I think he had a half decent season last year after a lot of grief, and maybe it could have been unsettled. I thought him and Gabby did quite well. They formed a good partnership last season. It's interesting to see if Saliba comes in and, overtakes him. How does he respond then? And that's easy to work on. I'm sure Arteta and the club are working on him when it does come to one-on-ones, and it does come. If you're not physically, the same as a centre forward, or you are not as fast, that's when you've got to start using this. And as defenders, if they use this, they go up the ladder very, very quickly. So there's a lot of potential there. And I think that's why they paid 50 million, because they're thinking if he goes to the next level, Maguire was 80 million these levels, maybe they think he's going to go to that level. So I understand the whole process of why they've gone for him.
Interesting. But I don't want to belabor the point, but do you not think that he's got certain qualities that do make him a very valued player in terms of his playing out the back?
Yeah, I think that's why they brought him in, and the price that they brought him in at. Because, and also, I've been critical as well sometimes on the ball. He's supposed to be amazing on the ball, but last year he struggled at times. A lot of the time is that because people off the ball are not making the right angles for him. So he has to have that extra touch. And that can make him then look like he may want to thread a ball through, but the option's not there, so then he doesn't want to boom it long. So I think that will all work out. The longer that he plays and the more games that he plays and everyone understands the philosophy of Arteta, I think Ben White will get better and better and better.
Okay, so there you have it. See, you got an esteemed panel.
He took it easy there, didn't he?
Yeah.
They broke it down for you, man. I mean, they didn't have to go all in like that Bono, but they told you what it is. So got to respect it, man. Okay, so moving on then. What I thought would be our main item of the show this week. So unless you guys have been living under a rock, you will know that the signing of Gabriel Jesus, not Jesus, as I've been saying previously, is imminent. So that is very likely to happen anytime soon. So what do we know about Gabriel Jesus? Sorry. Got to get that right, man. 25 years old, Brazilian international, previously at Man City, 6 seasons. Good goal scoring record in that time, 58 league goals for them in 159 appearances. Striker, plays through the middle or on the right hand side. And yeah, man, big player. I would say it's a marquee signing for Arsenal, and most of the fans, if not all of them that I've spoken to, are excited about the signing. So going to ask these guys what their thoughts. Let's start with Fran. So when you first heard that, there was interest there and it looks like it's going to happen, what was your thoughts?
I think he's a good player. I think he's probably a fitting player for the way that we want to play. I think it's a good signing overall. Few people, and even myself at times, are saying, how good is he? Because his goal record at City, not amazing, but it's still decent for his start to ratio. Very good on the ball, brainy, and works hard. So you can't really complain, because that's what you're looking for when you want a player. The relationship with Arteta is going to be good, which is always a bonus. And he's going to come in, he's going to be the main man. And you know what it's like, Curtis knows what it's like. If you're kind of like guaranteed that if you put the work in, you're going to get an opportunity to be the main man, they flourish. Yeah. And I think most people will be disappointed if he doesn't hit that 20 goal mark. Not sure about the league, but overall that 20 goal mark is why he's been brought in. So listen, he's a lot better than what we've got. And I think it's a good signing.
You mentioned there about the goals, and you talked about 20 goals a season. Now, I did a bit of research this morning before we started on the show, and I've been going through his goal scoring record since he's been at City. He's been at City quite a long time, actually, 6 seasons. So you may or may not be surprised to learn that he's not got anywhere near 20 goals in any of his seasons. He's been pretty consistent around the double figure mark. His best season was in 2019-20, where he got 14 goals and 7 assists. But if we go back, say, last season, he got 8 goals and 8 assists. The season before that, 2020-21, 9 goals, 4 assists.
Stats don't sound great.
No, they
and that's
don't.
all competitions as well.
No, these are Premier League goals.
I was going to say, yeah.
So yeah, he's got into double figures in terms of goals in 2 seasons. 2017-2018 season, he got 13 goals and 3 assists. And as I said earlier, 2019-2020, he got 14 goals and 7 assists. He's got 20 Champions League goals in that time. Curtis, does those stats surprise you somewhat? Do you think he would have been a bit more prolific?
I think because at City, people expect him to get big numbers, but I think the dynamics when you're coming off the bench, a lot of them appearances probably 20 minutes. You know how hard it is as a striker, sometimes hard to affect a game in 20 minutes. I think he said he started less than 100 games and he's got over 50 goals. So I think I'm with Fran in the sense that it's a good signing, but we're still kind of figuring out what level can he go to. Can he go up another level when he starts every week at Arsenal? I think that's the biggest thing. But I think the situation we're in at the moment, we're not the most glamorous of club to sign for at the moment, if we're being 100. Yeah. I think that's probably the ceiling of where we could have got a striker this summer. From Man City, 25, 45 million, he's got a year left. I think the thing for me, I would have liked to have seen another striker. And not everyone agrees with that because of Eddie, but I think we could have signed a taller option, maybe somebody who's a bit more physical. I think Eddie and Jesus are a bit similar. Yeah. Both kind of small, they want to press high, they want to get in the penalty area. I think sometimes you need a plan B. For as good as Man City are and everything that they can do, they've just signed a 6'3" target man striker. You know, they've kind of gone back to the beginning. because they want to have a different option. So I would have liked to have
Was
seen...
that though because Haaland is so good, or do you think that they deliberately went down a different
No,
route?
he is that good. If you're not signing Mbappe, you sign Haaland.
Yeah.
And, you know, and Mbappe stayed. But I would have liked to have seen Arsenal sign another striker. But listen, I'm excited about Jesus. I think
You
it's a
are
good
excited.
sign.
You do think it's a marquee
It's a
signing.
good signing.
What special qualities do you think he brings? I'll start with yourself.
It's the pressing from the front. I think, you know, Lacazette, I mean, you know, I think his engine had blown up. You know, there wasn't much left in that tank.
Cardio wasn't
he couldn't keep up with the petrol price.
Keep up with the fuel.
Do you know what? I think Lacazette helped Eddie get a new contract, because Eddie came in and it was, oh my God, he can run. You know what I mean? He can press. He looked like a dream, because Lacazette had, you know, he's in midfield. He can't get in the penalty area. I think Jesus, I think Pep said he's the best pressing striker in the world.
Wow.
Like at hassling defenders. And like you said, he's intelligent. Makes good runs. I think he understands the game very well. And I think, I said it on the last show, I think it would have been very easy for him to sign a new deal at City, get a pay rise, and just pick up his money, fill up the trophy cabinet and be a squad player. I think it's a brave decision to come to Arsenal, to play Europa League. He's under a lot of pressure and he wants to be the main man. He's going to wear that number 9 shirt and he knows it's a World Cup year. He wants to be in that Brazilian team. So I actually applaud him for coming here and taking this move, because a lot of people would have just stayed at City and just lived the high life. So, you know, let's hope he can fulfill that potential.
Good points made. Anything you want to add on that front?
Not really, just
In terms
like you
of his
say.
qualities, what he brings.
Like you say, he's intelligent. You've seen him when he couldn't come short. He's got a little bit of, you know, they are tricking him if need be. You don't really see it in a modern game these days. But he's got that in his locker, and he can finish. You know, he may not be that, you know, diamond where one chance, one goal, but he needs a couple of chances. But, you know, and I think we'll create chances. I do think we'll create chances. We're going to play a certain way. So I think he's got half a chance. But like Curtis was saying, the fact that he wants to leave City is a massive, you know, it's a massive compliment to him for his attitude, his mindset. And some people like, yes, you want to be the main man. You say that, but when it comes to the crunch, the fear kicks in. And all of a sudden it's like, whoa, if this goes wrong. But he's not even thinking that. He's backing his ability. And I think that's good for Arteta and for him and hopefully Arsenal as a football club.
So it would appear, as you guys alluded to, that he will be the main man. What position do you think he'll occupy in the team though? Because as I've said earlier, he can play through the middle or he can play on the right-hand side. How do you think he'll be accommodated in the team? Start with Fran.
He's got to be central for me. He doesn't have the pace to be either side, in my opinion. I know he's played out there at times, but if he's one-on-one with a fullback who's got decent pace, he's getting dusted. He's not that type of player. He's intelligent, come inside, work off the front, you know, work off. So for me, let him play central. He can come to feet. But the one thing that Arteta, I think, wants his centre forward to do is be able to have the energy and the legs to get back in the box. So he will have, it's quite a hard shift. We've seen it. Not many people can do it. Even, you know, Eddie was coming short, getting in the box, young, quite quick. He's got a big role to play, big role. He's going to be the focal point. Everything's going to work off him. As soon as the defenders break the lines from the midfielder, it's going to be on him. He's going to be the focal point. Everything has to move around him. So big job. But I think he'll like it. I think you know, he's going there for a reason, and he'll love the fact that he's just being told, you're the main man, you're going to play, we'll link off you, everything's going to be around you. So I just hope that we get 5-10 yards further up the pitch so he doesn't have to come too deep. That's the only thing for him. And if he does come deep, does he have the attributes like a Kane to get it on the back foot, and then your Sakas and your Martinellis, etc., can make that running behind like Saunders? That's another part that I think Arteta will ask him to do.
Interesting. Curtis, I was going to ask, could you see a scenario where Mikel Arteta is going to play both Jesus and Eddie?
You'll get there eventually, don't worry.
Jesus and I'm going to start calling him Gabriel. But then again, I can't really clash. But yeah, do you think Jesus and Eddie, do you see them in the same team?
Not really, you know.
No?
Not for me. I think it'll be one or the other, because like Fran said, I don't think you pay nearly 50 million for a striker to play him on the right. And Saka's just got player of the season 2 years in a row on the right. He can play there, but I don't think that's what we've signed him for. So I think he'll be more like for like. If Jesus comes off 20 minutes to go, Eddie comes on, maybe he plays Europa League. Look, if you're going for a game last 20 minutes, you've got to throw them both. Maybe you could play two up there, but I've never really seen Arteta play with two up front.
Yeah, I must admit I haven't either. But there was a suggestion that saying you could possibly play the two of them up top. Because I
can't see it.
It's interesting that Fran mentioned the pressing. You said that Arteta described him as one of the best
Pep
pressing.
said he was one of the best.
Sorry,
Yeah.
So if that is the case, then there might be certain scenarios in games where that might be an option that Arteta might consider, to play them both up top. Start your press right from the top.
The problem is you play two up front, your midfield's got to be top quality, because everyone plays three in the middle. I don't think we can play two strikers and then with the midfield we've got, I don't think we can get away with two. I think he'll want his two wide players, whether that's Martinelli and Saka, or if we bring someone in, and then Jesus through the middle, high energy, high tempo, make it difficult for their defence to get out. So, I mean, I think there's such a big difference, and like when you're at a club and that manager's going to play you every week, and he's going to put his arm around you and say, you're my guy this season. I think it brings a different attitude out in you as a player. He's turning up at Man City knowing he's on the bench. He's coming to Arsenal now, you're the main man. His profile will go up as well. I know Man City are a better team than us, but we're a bigger club than them. Everything's bigger at Arsenal. You're under the microscope. So it's whether he embraces it or it actually works against him. I think that's the biggest thing. Because our fan base, we're not the most forgiving. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Myself included as well, by the way.
YouTube channels.
I know, mate.
And of course, there'll be plenty of games. I mean, listen, we've got European football back next season. Obviously, you've got the other domestic cup competitions. I was going to say, Fran, in terms, we spoke briefly about goals and goals scored. How many goals realistically can you expect Jesus to get this season?
I thought he was going to ask me then. I was going to hide behind this sofa how many goals I scored. Listen, 20...
What would be, like, say, your target for it?
A lot of people throw the 20 goal around, but a lot of people speak about 20 league goals. I think 20 league goals is hard. If you think about how many strikers over the last few seasons have got 20 goals in the league, it's normally your Son, your Salah, your Kanes. Can't remember.
Yeah, I think 20 league goals is going to put you in the golden boot.
It's tough going. And I think that figure's thrown around because that's what people pay the money for. They pay the money, can he get me 20 league goals? But I think in all competitions, if he gets me 20 league goals, I think that's an okay first season in all competitions, depending on how many games he plays. But say he plays 40 games. So say he does, and if he gets 20 goals, that's 1 in 2 in all. So for me, 20 goals from all competitions, I think, is a good season for him.
I mean, at the moment, it's what did we say? It was 58 goals for City in 159 appearances. So
1 in 3, and most of them probably aren't starts either. Do you know the last Arsenal striker to get 20 league goals?
Aubameyang.
Yeah. I thought I'd just say that, because I thought you'd enjoy that one. I just thought I'd say that. You know what I mean? But no, I agree with Fran. I think if he can get 15 league goals, 20 in all comps, I think that's an upgrade on. Because I think Arteta wants goals to come from the whole front line. He's not trying to have one striker who bags and the other two don't. He wants 3 who can all get you maybe 10 to 15. I think. Even if he takes penalties, we haven't even got a set penalty taken out. So if Jesus takes penalties,
there's 5 goals, 6 goals.
5, then you only need 10 out of the others. I can see games where he would get 2 or 3 goals. And then Europa League as well. He should be getting 20 in all comps, definitely, if he starts most weeks. So.
Right, okay. Do you think that the signing of Jesus significantly enhances Arsenal as a team? I notice I use the word significant. I don't just... In other words, what I'm saying, is this a game-changing signing? Is this something that the fans can say, look, man, I can be confident that next season we will be challenging for those places. We will be in the shout of winning things. Now we've got somebody like Jesus on board. Do you see that type of player for you?
On paper, I think a lot of people are expecting it. I'm just not sure. One, the other teams are going to be a problem. We know that. We can't control that. I think we'll be a better team. But whether we will finish better than last season is a completely different question. So I think he will enhance us as a team. I think we'll have more of a focal point. I think those 0-0s, he might nick a goal. So all of a sudden, you know, the dreadful run that we went off with the Brighton, the Palace, he could have been the difference and then puts you forth from last season. But I think the Premier League is going to be a lot harder this season coming than the season we just had. I thought the quality was very low. There was a lot of unsettled players and managers in the Premier League last year. I think this season is going to be hard. And all of a sudden now, there's a lot more pressure on Arsenal and Arteta, which can also cause problems. So on paper, everybody would say, yes, we should do better. But the elements and the variables outside of our control are probably going to cause us a few obstacles along the way. I
think that's a very fair comment. Curtis, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah,
Does the signing
agree.
of Jesus make us significantly better or just better? Or
I don't quite think he's a game changer. I think you know when you've signed a game changer. I think people are scared when you sign a game changer. Do you know what I mean? I think he's a good signing. I think he improves us. I think he makes us harder to play against. If I was a centre-back, looking at Arsenal last year, I'd be thinking Lacazette, he might not even be near me, you know what I mean? Because he was playing that far away. Do you know what I mean? Now I'm thinking, this Jesus, he never stops running, he's going to press, he's going to make life difficult for me. So he makes us harder to play against. I think it's a case of time will tell whether he is a game changer or not. I think he makes us better. Well, like Fran said, I still don't know if he makes us a top 4 team by himself. I think we need a midfielder, we need a left back, probably another attacking player as well. So he helps us, but it depends what we do around him, whether we can break that top 4.
And I just want to pick up on that point that you made there about we may have needed another attacking player. So people will know that to all intents and purposes, the Rafinha thing that we thought, we was excited last week. We spoke about this on the show, we could get him. For a while, it looked very promising, but I have to say, it's petering out. Doesn't look like we're going to get Rafinha. Curtis, how disappointed were you with that seemingly falling through?
I have to think of my words. No, listen, I'm not going to do what a lot of Arsenal fans did, which was, I'm delighted we're getting him. Then when he doesn't sign for us, he's rubbish. I'm not going to play that.
We didn't want him anyway.
I didn't want him anyway. No, listen, I wanted him. Yeah, I think 60 to 65 million was probably more than what I think he's worth. But at the end of the day, we paid 50 million for Ben White last year, who is a centre-back who wasn't even an international at the time. You're talking about Leeds' best player. He's in the Brazil team. He's going to cost you a lot of money, especially when Barcelona, Chelsea, I think Spurs were looking at him as well. So he wasn't a player that we really needed in the sense. I think we need a midfielder and a few other players more. But I look at him and I think he could have helped that attack maybe go to the next level. Because I'm thinking Jesus, Rafinha, Saka. You've got 3 problems there to deal with. And I think he would have improved us. I think he's got a little bit of magic about him. When I watch him, I think he's got a little bit of something about him. So for me, I'm disappointed. And also what disappoints me is, it's if he goes to Chelsea. Now, I think we all know he wants Barcelona. He's waiting. I think he's still, even now, Chelsea, they're saying it isn't done. Barca might come back. But I think we dithered a little bit, we were making these low offers. Apparently the first offer, Leeds described it as embarrassing. I mean, is it 30 million and a pound or what was going on? We knew they wanted 60 million. You've got to get close to it, especially when you're not in a strong position to negotiate. So it's not the end of the world. There are other players out there that can come in. But for me, I think it's an opportunity missed. I think he's a good player who would have improved us.
Fran, same question to you.
Same like Curtis was saying, I don't think he was needed. But he would have come in and improved us. So a lot of people would say, did we really need to spend that amount of money in that position when maybe we need to get a left-sided, a centre-half or a left-back who can cover in that area? We need a ball-playing midfielder. We don't know how Vieira's going to be, but maybe we need an experienced ball-playing midfielder who's already in the Prem, with Tielemans, etc.
Well, it's interesting you say that because that was going to be my supplementary question about it. So let's talk about Tielemans. Listen, man, I'll be honest with you. I wanted Rafinha for the same reasons that Curtis expressed there. I do agree that he's a quality player. He's the kind of player that can get you off the edge of your seat. He definitely would have made us a better team. However, if I'm pressed, I probably would have opted for Tielemans because I think the need for someone like Tielemans is a bit more than the need for a Rafinha. But how do you feel about it?
Yeah, I definitely think, I'm a purist. I've mentioned loads of times, I like people that get on the ball, get it off the back four, try and break lines. And Tielemans is that type of player. We mentioned Neves earlier on in the season, etc., and things like that. And Tielemans has gone off the board a little bit, Leicester weren't great. They struggled a little bit, and he struggled as well. Now, we know what type of player he is. He can be top draw. And I would have gone all out to try and get Tielemans. Or a player who is very, very comfortable on the ball, who always looks forward when he gets the ball rather than sideways or backwards. So I would have probably gone for a Tielemans. I would rather a Tielemans than Rafinha. I like Rafinha. I like him a lot. The way that Rafinha is and those types of players can be inconsistent because everything has to be right for flair players and that type of players. A central midfielder who wants to get on the ball, a lot of the time, it's within their control because they're in the centre of the pitch.
Yeah.
So the ball, they can go and get the ball a lot of the time. They're not
it's
starved.
the engine room of the team.
Yeah, they're not starved if they're on the wing. So for me, I think we need, and I'm surprised Arteta's not gone because he was a midfielder. His philosophy is a Spanish way. So he knows the importance of getting the ball off the back four. Maybe he's brought the Vieira kid in for that. It's quite a lot of money for a kid who's not got an international cap, and he's not really a kid. He's not 18, 19. So maybe they're going to see he's the guy, and he could be the one that really shines this season, and no one really knows about him. We don't know.
Yeah,
and he could be the one, and they're trusting him, and that's why they're not investing another 25, 30 million on someone else.
Or it could be they're happy with what they got there.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
And we all know who that is, don't we?
But
that Granit Xhaka
Curtis, your views on the Tielemans has gone a bit quiet. What's your
quiet. Just with what you said there, for me, I think we should have been able to get both. I don't think it should have been one or the other.
Yeah.
Tielemans is about 30 million. So but like you said, with Tielemans, I don't understand why they haven't wrapped it up sooner because he's got a year left. It only takes someone bigger to think, you know what, we didn't get him, or we'll go and get him. So I wonder are they going to sign a midfielder because you've got Lokonga, you've got El Neni who got a new deal, Xhaka got a new deal last year, Partey's back in training, that's 4. Vieira, I don't know, is he a number 8 or he can play centrally as well? So, with Arsenal, it wouldn't surprise me if they didn't even buy a midfielder. I think they desperately need to. But because I've seen all these things they're saying now, maybe they're going to play Partey as a lone 6 with Vieira and Odegaard in front of him, like sort of how Pep does with Rodri, with Bernardo and De Bruyne. So you just don't know with Arsenal. That centre midfielder has been needed for a while.
I think so,
for a long time. I don't think you see the best of Partey until you get that ball player next to him as well. So, it'd be interesting.
It's interesting that the Tielemans, the interest from Arsenal appears to be subsiding somewhat because, we all agree that we think that there is a need for someone like Tielemans coming to that midfield. But for whatever reason, it seems to have gone a bit quiet. That doesn't mean to say it's gone away completely, though.
Yeah.
It could be that they're working behind the scenes to get things done. And Fran, you did allude to some people were saying that Tielemans have gone off the boil a little bit at Leicester last season. But then I would say that maybe his time at Leicester had come to that natural type of end. Doesn't mean to say he's still not a very good player. Belgian international, we've seen him do it season after season for Leicester previously. He's battle tested, battle ready. Yeah. To me, he would come straight in and do a good job. So I'm kind of hoping I'm more than kind of hoping. I'm hoping that gets done, man, because I do think that there is a need. And it is my contention that if I had to choose one between him and Rafinha, for me, it would have been Tielemans. But that's not to discount how good Rafinha is. But in closing, we're kind of winding up now. Is there any other names out there or areas of the pitch even that you've kind of earmarked and said, look, we really do need to, or we could do with somebody coming in this position? Is there anyone that catches your
Well, definitely
eye?
the left side, because the injuries to Tierney, etc., is always going to be a concern. As good as Tierney can be, if you made a candy floss, you're not going to last the season. You're not going to last. So I think we need a player who is at Tierney's level, or if not better, to really wake Tierney up with regards to that, because maybe he got too comfortable, and then injuries you can't really help, etc. Was he doing the right things away from the pitch? We don't know, because we're not within the camp. So, Martinez, who we know United are one, etc. People have spoke about him. Again, the rumours keep coming up that we're trying to push for that one. Not cheap, but will add a lot more quality for that left side. Not only will he add quality just on that side, he plays the Ajax way. You know, the Ajax way is the way of football, goes back decades. So he's got that philosophy, that education of what Arteta is going to want him to do. Very comfortable on the ball in all areas of the pitch. Will look to break the lines into midfield, get it back, etc. So for me, I like the look of that signing. If we can get that one, I don't know how. I know Man United are going to be pushing everything to try and get that done.
And of course, he played under Ten Hag,
so he knows him very, very well. And the midfielder, that's it. I mean, centre forward, I would love another centre forward. I would love a big, like Curtis was saying, was actually speaking about it, I think, on a phone call the other day about how Liverpool and City, people are trying to catch them up because they're playing purist football, and now they're going to bring 2 big centre forwards in. So now they're going to change the dynamics again for everyone else to try and keep up, because everyone else will figure them out, how they play, how to stop them, because each season everybody learns. And now they're going to throw a Haaland and a Núñez in the mix. So I would have liked to see another centre forward, just to, because if Jesus, hopefully he doesn't get an injury, long-term injury, we've got to rely on Eddie Nketiah again. And that's not where we need to be at as a football club. So I'd have invested heavily on 2 centre forwards because they are game changers.
I think that's a great point. Same question to you, my man, Curtis. Is there anyone out there that catches your eye that you think, listen, we should definitely be going for this person?
No, similar players, man. I think that Lissandro would be a very good signing because I think Tierney's missed 50 games in 3 seasons in the Prem. And we've seen before with Arsenal, no matter how talented you are, if you're injury prone, it's not going to happen. You know, Rosicky, Wilshere, Diaby, all talented players, injury prone, it doesn't work. You can't. This is his 4th season, I think now, Tierney. So we've got to see him on the pitch more. So I think if we get that left-sided defender, we definitely need a midfielder. I would have actually gone for 2 midfielders personally. You know, I would have liked, maybe Basuma and a ball player or something. So we had that bit more fight and the ball player. And again with the striker. So I think if we get the left-sided player at the back, we get the midfielder, maybe another winger. I'd still love to see Serge Gnabry come in. I don't think it's going to happen. Dreamland settings. Serge, come on, just come on. Listen, because the thing is, and I heard Robbie saying this the other day, if Bayern Munich are not going to want him to go into the last year of his contract, it may get to a situation where later on in the window, they're saying, come and buy him offers. It's just a case of, can you convince him to come and play for us in the Europa League? I think he wants massive wages, like 250 grand at Bayern. They're not prepared to pay it.
But they just gave Mane that. I know it's a new signing, but when he's looking around, he's seeing a Mane and Kimmich and all these people on mad money. He's probably another reason. He's probably thinking, I'm not wanted here. So if you're not going to sell me and you're not going to give me a new deal, I'm just going to run the contract out.
And go and get paid.
I'm going to go and get paid and you ain't getting nothing.
We need to turn up with them envelopes, man. You know what I mean?
You need to turn up with them envelopes, man.
You need to get it back. But that's the dream anyway. But
Thanks, guys. And my last question to you both, we'll start with Fran, is so we're seeing how the window is unfolding so far anyway. We brought a couple of people in and like we said, the Jesus is very imminent. How happy are you with what they've done so far? Is this a good window so far? Could it be better? Could it be worse?
Well, it can always be better.
Satisfying?
Yeah, it can always be better. I think if you would have got the Rafinha, I'd have said, that's a decent window.
I mean, there's still time.
There's still time. Of course, we've got plenty of time. Even it doesn't have to be done before pre-season. They could go through pre-season. They want to get the players in before pre-season so they can settle, know how we play, the philosophy, etc. But there's plenty of time, and things can happen. You've seen Rafinha might now go to Barca. Dembele might go here, and we don't know. But if it ends like this, then I would be disappointed. If it was to just end now with a Jesus and a V, I'd be disappointed. So I do think we need one big hitter, another big hitter.
Another big hitter, yeah. Curtis?
Yeah, no, I agree with Fran. I think sometimes you've got to separate who we're being linked with to who we've actually signed. A lot of people saying this is a great window, this player, that player, but I'm like, we haven't signed that player. We've been linked with that player, made offers. So I still think we haven't addressed everything we need. And that's my issue. We always talk about midfield, the engine room. These top teams, their midfielders, they dominate the game. So I think at this stage now with Jesus and Vieira, it's not enough. I think we need at least another, maybe 3 signings. And out of those 3, I think one of them's got to be a game changer, something that gets you off the edge of your seat, that worries the opposition a little bit. So it's a steady start, but we need a lot more if we're going to catch the teams in front of us.
So there you have it, people. You've heard from our esteemed guests there, both former pros. They know what they're talking about. I think it's fair to say you're satisfied so far, but you want to see more. And I think that's fair enough. I think that's a fair assessment. I would agree with you on that. I think so far it's been good, but we're still going to need more. So there you go. Right, in closing, Curtis, my man, for the 120. If
they don't know by now, yeah, they're just not listening.
No, there's always going to be new people watching.
Yeah, Curtis Shaw TV, you know I'm there every day, people.
Yeah, man, big things is going on for Curtis Shaw TV. And of course, Fran, tell the people where they can find you on social media.
FFTV is what I do. Some see me on Curtis's show quite a lot, etc. So FFTV, mainly Arsenal all the time. So go and check that out on YouTube. And then obviously if you're in crypto as well, I might as well plug that. Astronaut Fran, we're going to the moon with the crypto. So
my man's on that crypto.
Go follow him, man. Good channel.
So Astronaut Fran on YouTube and FFTV on YouTube as well.
Okay, thank you very much. And listen, man, thank you very much for coming on. We've enjoyed listening to your forthright and intuitive opinions. And we hope that this is not going to be the first and last. We're hoping to get you on many times in the future. So listen, guys, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching. Keep the show interactive. What did you think of the guys' thoughts today? What do you think about the signing of Jesus? Do you think this is a pivotal moment? Do you think it's a game changer? Or do you think, like the guys have expressed, that it's good, but we need a lot more? Let us know. Keep liking, sharing, subscribing and supporting, and we see you guys next week.
Shop for AFTV merch at shop.aftv.co.uk. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat and Twitch. We've got content for every platform, so check it out.